February's muscle up workout, we're doing muscle up into front lever, so you're lowering down from the muscle up into the front lever and back up. Obviously before you start that you want to have a good muscle up down, so we're doing this as a standalone workout. We did this last month and I'm just encouraging people to do it like that just because it's high skill, high strength, there's a lot involved with it. It's a complex movement of pulling and pushing, and for most people they've got to really develop that transition point to get their first muscle up, even if they've got a decent pull up and dip. But coming back to the dip, you want to have a nice full range of motion dip, being able to get down nice and deep. If you haven't got that, working your eccentric dips down into that position is really effective. And same for pull-ups, you want to get a really high pull-up. So you might be doing jump pull-ups and eccentrically lowering down. Or the other thing that's really good for this is doing a hold at the top of the pull-up and trying to keep your body as high as possible for, for 5-10 seconds isometrically or longer. But then you want to be able to do that with the false grip, so that's the real challenge. So in this workout, when you're first developing, you want to get that dip hold at the bottom, 5 to 10 seconds, and then the transition come down below and get that 5 to 10 seconds. If you can get that, you can also do the position with 90 and then the lockout with 90 with your full body weight. After that, lowering down, so trying to take that time to transition from the dip to the top of the pull-up is the most important part, but you could lower all the way down to the bottom of the pull-up. But the goal in the whole muscle up is this position from here, coming down, getting that horizontal forearm to there. And the slower you can do that, the stronger your muscle up is going to be. So if you can take 10 seconds to go from here to there, you're guaranteed you're going to be able to do that in reverse coming up. Your forearms are going to be pretty strong. In the rest period, so even then, like I'm just doing a demo, I can feel how heavy that is there. So it is important to stretch those out. And then the other way, doing the wrist stretches with it that way, and then forming the fist on the floor, really important as well to get that. Plus you've got to do, at the end of the session you might have some light dumbbells. It doesn't have to be a lot, like a kilo each arm, and getting high reps here, so you don't blow out here. I've had a few people that have built up a little bit of forearm tendonitis. I'm always reminding people at the end of the session, if you're going hard on rope climb or muscle up, to really make sure you strengthen the other side, and also from handstands. Really important with that. Now when you're doing it into the front lever, you want to be able to obviously do an eccentric muscle up first. If you can do the concentric, even better, you're going down and up. But if you can only do the eccentric muscle up, it's not that big a jump to lower down into a tucked front lever. So you'll be here, and as you come down, you bring the knees up into the chest, control, and then come back. Bit of a jump up in that one, but yeah, it's not that hard to come back down into a tucked front lever. And then you might do 3 reps lowering down into that front lever position, just for something, for a bit of variety rather than just doing the same thing. The muscle ups take a long time to really get that strength, so you might be stuck at a certain level for a while. Having a bit of variation with that is good, but at the same time you've got to come back to the small improvements. So you might be measuring your muscle up and going, okay, I'm here, check the timer, 5, or I'm filming myself on the camera so I can check the time after. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it drops away. Okay, so I've got that 5-second eccentric there, controlled that, and then did, film that so that way it's a record of it, but also I can see, okay, it was actually 5 seconds, not what I counted in my head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or I looked at the timer and then looked at it again, but it's a bit not completely accurate, whereas when you're filming it's an exact time, and you can kind of push pause and then use the slider to see exactly when you start to descend and when you go to get to that position there. And then when you're filming it also, you've got what else is my body doing around that, and I've got a record. But next week, if you did 5 seconds for 3 of the sets and you had a warm-up set, and if you get 6 seconds on 2 of those, or 7 seconds, or whatever, there's an improvement of time under tension. It may not seem like a lot, but when you do that 4 weeks in a row, that's all the difference. And once you can do 3 10-second eccentrics in a row, you're guaranteed to have that control to be able to come back up, because you have so much tensile strength it is in reverse, but you're always 1.5 times stronger lowering than you are lifting. So if you can lower down, with that much time under tension, you're going to have the stability and the strength, and if you exert more force to come up, the risk of injury or tearing or pulling something is so little because you've already built that strength in the connective tissue and the muscle itself. So work on those, and by all means, if you've got a better front lever than what I demoed, open out to a full front lever, whatever, and then coming back up, doing reps of that, working that, making that strong. And there's nothing wrong with combining them all, the forward roll, the backward roll, front lever, lowering into the back lever as well, so you've got that variety, and you're turning the muscle up workout into more of a routine, and that's what I'm kind of encouraging people to do more. Make it, as you build that strength base, use it more as a skill session. It's still very much strength, but once you've developed enough strength, you can make it more of a skill workout, and then use the basic pull-push legs workouts to be more of your strength building workouts, to have that primary focus. And then this one's a bit of a routine, which is really good for maintenance. So once you've got a certain amount of strength, if you enjoy doing a routine in the rings with muscle ups in it and transitions into front lever, back lever, forward roll, backward roll, you maintain that overall muscle up strength, but it's a bit more fun than just doing strict straight muscle ups and adding weight to them and doing all of that. And then you might, kind of just hold that while you're developing other areas, and then come back to that, and then you might do some weighted muscle ups or whatever. But like for me this year, like I'm not going to put a big importance on my muscle ups. Like I'm going to keep training them once a week and tick it off, but I'm going to focus more on the ring turnouts, so holding that position, weighted pull-ups to get to a one-arm pull-up. I'm going to work towards that this year. Hopefully, if it's progressing well, and I look after my neck, because when you're doing a one-on-one, it's quite strong there. But weighted pull-ups, and then getting a nicer shape in the back lever, and then with the ring push-ups really deep and coming through, and then pushing right through. I'll put that in the program, but the goal is to get the straddle front lever to a tuck front, straddle planche to a tuck planche, and that's all going to give me the strength to be able to do a backward roll in the rings anyway. And that's another idea or goal that I have, that I'm not focused on it, but I can do all those other things and not even train that directly, and then will help it come up because I'm getting that strength with the back lever there. I'm getting that strength from the straddle planche into the tuck planche there. I'm getting that strength with the dips there, and it's all strengthening that same position that when I roll around to come up. And I'm also going to train inverted rings, high pulls as well, which is the start of that position in the back roll. So I don't have to focus on it. It'll just kind of happen if I'm working on the other things. It's still a bit of skill involved, but overall, if I get the other things to come up, I have more than enough strength to do it. So you've got to start looking at your week and prioritise, okay, which are the things that are going to give me the best return out of what my goals are and what I want to work towards. So for me, my primary goals this year are like one-arm pull-up and one-arm handstand. But in order to do this, there's so many other things that I need to strengthen around that as well that will help. But then also focusing on the things that are more important for that also opens up so many other options in the training week. So have a think about that, get back to me with your goals, send me back the spreadsheet with your goals in it and your kind of what your training plan is and how you're putting all this stuff together, and I can give you feedback on it. But get into it, guys. See you soon.